if he doesn't allow us to take it, then it will never come to, no one would ever allow it to come to us. Not meaning him, but the family of the Prophet ﷺ. So it's important to remember that Ali knows the Prophet ﷺ's deen. He's the most learned of the Sahaba, and the Prophet ﷺ said that he never gives the wilayah to the one who seeks it. And so the Prophet ﷺ died. The news comes to Abu Bakr. He immediately rushes to the masjid. Imagine this scene. The Muslims are in a complete turmoil. The munafiqun are saying things because now they've got their opportunity to come up. Omar swinging his sword back and forth, saying, Wallahi, those who say that the Prophet ﷺ died are the munafiqun. The Prophet ﷺ didn't die. He's gone like Musa ibn Imran to his Lord, and he's coming back. Wallahi, anyone that says that he's dead, I'll chop his head off. Again, that rashness coming out. It's too much for Umar. He can't bear. Uthman, completely silent. Ali goes into his home. He goes and goes into the house of Fatima. The big Sahaba are in a state of complete agitation. Abu Bakr comes, he sees the situation, and this is a man, he's assessing the situation. What's going on here? He heard the na'i, the man telling the death of the Prophet. He goes into the house of the Prophet ﷺ, the bayt of Aisha radiallahu anha. He pulls the cover, he sees the Prophet ﷺ, ascertains that he is dead. He said, Ya Rasulullah, قَدْ طِبْتَ حَيٍّ وَمَيِّتٍ. Pure in your death, pure in your life, and pure in your death. He goes out and he stands up. He tells Omar, be quiet. Omar is still, he sees Abu Bakr. The situation is unbelievable, and Abu Bakr gets up. At this point, the massive courage in the man gets up and he tells the people, Ya ayyuhan nas, man kana ya'budu Muhammadan fa Muhammadun qad mat. Those who were worshipping Allah, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Muhammad is dead. وَمَنْ كَانَ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهِ اللَّهُ حَيٌّ لَا يَمُوتُ. And those who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is living and He never dies. And then he read the ayah, the verse of the ayah of Quran, وَمَا مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ. Muhammad is only a messenger. قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ. Messengers have gone before him. أَفَإِنْ مَاتَ أَوْ قُتِلَ. If he dies or is killed, أَنْقَلَبْتُمْ عَلَىٰ أَعْقَابِكُمْ. Will you go back on your heels? Will you turn around? This ayah is so important at this point because it's important in its relevance to what's coming after, the next few years of the Khilafah of Abu Bakr. He tells them this ayah. And the one, وَمَنْ يَنْقَلِبْ عَلَىٰ عَقِبَيْهِ فَلَنْ يَضُرَّ اللَّهَ شَيْئًا. The one that goes back on his heels, he won't harm Allah one iota. Umar radiallahu anhu, when he heard, وَسَيَجْزِي اللَّهُ الشَّاكِرِينَ. Allah will reward those who show thanks of the ni'mah of Islam. How do you show thanks? By acting according to Islam. Umar radiallahu anhu, when he hears this ayah, he says, like he never heard that ayah before. Like he never heard that ayah before. Because that ayah had no application until that moment. To them, they didn't even think of that. That was the furthest thing from their mind. And everybody immediately comes to their senses. Abu Bakr brought that. Sa'd radiallahu anhu said, Wallahi, Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu said, Wallahi, لَقَدْ قُمْنَا فِي مَوْقِفٍ كِدْنَا أَنْ نَهْلَكَ لَوْلَا أَنْ مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا بِأَبِي بَكْرٍ. We were in a situation, we would have been destroyed as an ummah if Allah had not blessed us with Abu Bakr. At this point now, the news is spreading. The Prophet at this time had appointed Usama, the army of Usama, radiallahu anhu. Usama ibn Zayd, right? Who's Ibn Haritha, who's the head of the Prophet ﷺ. He's only 17 years old. He put him on this army to go and fight the Romans. This is a big ishara for us as Muslims. The last thing the Prophet ﷺ is doing, despite the fact that there were false prophets now starting to rise up in the parameters, the Prophet is sending an army towards Rome. That's the last thing that he did. And then some tribes, the zakat collectors are coming in saying they don't want to pay zakat. They say we pay zakat to the Prophet but not to Abu Bakr and not to anybody else. At this point, this is the day that the Prophet died, the Ansar gather in the Saqifa, is like a place of gathering for them, that is Sa'ida. They want to make Sa'ad ibn Ubadah the Khalifa. They're going to take bay'ah with him. The news comes to Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu grabs Umar and Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah, and he takes them immediately. This is fitna. Fitna is happening because he doesn't want Al-Ansar and the Muhajirin to have fitna. They go immediately. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu stands and he says before them, he said, Wallahi, antum ya ma'ashar al-Ansar, idha dhakartum al-fadl fa antum ahlul lahu. Any virtue, any blessing that you can mention, you people are ahlul lahu. The Muhajirin, the Ansar. He said, but Wallahi, you know as well as we that the Arabs will never accept a ruler over them unless he's Quraysh. This is the Quraysh were the highest tribe in Arabia. And the Ansar recognized that. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu says, Wallahi, I don't see anybody other than either Umar ibn al-Khattab or Abu Ubaidah, Amin Hadi al-Ummah. He's not going to choose himself. Why? Because he knows. One, he said, Wallahi ma harastu ala al-imara yawman aw layla wa ma taraktu Allah lil-imara sirran aw alaniya. I never sought this thing, this imara, this leadership in a night or a day, and I never asked Allah for it in secret or manifest. He doesn't want it because the Prophet ﷺ said, Wallahi la nuwalli man talaba hadha al-amr aw man yahrisu alayh. We will not give wilayah, we will not give a position of leadership to one who seeks it. That wipes out election. Right? Vote for me. Nice to meet you. Kissing the babies and all these things. They'll do anything to get elected. They're seeking it and they're harisun alayh. Once they get in it, they'll do anything to stay in it. Those two attributes negate a person that is worthy of leadership, according to Islam. So Abu Bakr doesn't want it. Umar, all of a sudden Umar said, he looked at Abu Bakr and he realized, Wallahi la ubayu ahadan wa Abu Bakr fina. I would never take bay'ah with anyone and Abu Bakr is with us. It became clear. Cream rises to the top. That's the nature of milk. Cream rises to the top. They saw Abu Bakr. Umar puts his hand in there. Bay'atuka ala ta'ati Allah wa rasulih. I'm making bay'ah with you. That's bay'at Saqifa. The Ansar make the bay'ah. They all make bay'ah at this point except Sa'ad ibn Sa'id radiallahu anhu. Something in his heart at that point. He makes bay'ah later. They go out, the people make bay'ah. Now at this point, unbelievable things are happening. They have Musaylim al-Kadhab has an army of 60,000. Sajjah, this woman from Bani Tamim, is claiming to be a prophetess, and she's got Bani Tamim following her. They've got the people of Oman, the people of Sana'a of Yemen, are gone into rebellion because Aswad al-Ansi was there, and he claimed to be a prophet, and he was guiding people because they all saw the prophet. All of Arabia now is under him, so I'm going to claim I'm a prophet. Maybe I'll get maybe a portion of it. This is what they're thinking. So they start making these claims. Now, what does Umar says, Abu Bakr, we have to not send Usama's army out. We have to keep it here in Medina. People that wouldn't pay zakat are ready to attack Medina. They're actually talking about attacking Medina. Musaylim is talking about it. Sajjah is talking about marching on Medina. The Persians are creating problems with the Arabs in the periphery of the peninsula. The Romans are there. So all of these problems, you can see at this point how fragile the Islam is. Because although many Muslims became Muslims, they did at a very late period in time. So the Iman the Prophet's core people who had been with him all these years were not that many. Massive peoples became Muslim at the end of this period. So there all these Muslims are, and they're falling apart. And so what does Abu Bakr do? He says, Usama's going. He's going to Sham. Umar said,